We are going to Grandma and Papa's. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, August 31st, and this morning we are going to do the Booktube. Whoa.
Real Talk Tag 2.0.
Yes, created by Books with Alyssa J and Julia Sapphire. When they posted their video, they wanted it to also make it a little bit of a challenge to film basically out of your routine or out of your comfort zone. Normally we do not film with our children or in a vehicle unless we're vlogging, which I don't tend to vlog a lot. So this is definitely out of our routine, and we have some time because we're currently on our way to my parents' house. They live about an hour and a half. We're going to be celebrating my dad's big 5-0.
50-50.
So we thought it'd be the perfect time to go ahead and answer these questions.
Oh, I'm gonna have fun.
He also has his coffee. He's happy. I got my stop fighting.
No.
Enough.
So I got my pumpkin spice latte. Let's get this going. So first question. If you could give yourself one piece of advice when you started making videos, what would it be?
Am I going first? Or you
Yeah,
going first?
you can go first.
Alright, so I think I'm going to stick with the same answer I gave for the original Booktube tag, or the Real Talk tag, and just be yourself. Make sure that you aren't changing and trying to be fake, because it'll come out in the end.
I agree. Ooh, they made this pumpkin spice latte really good. Other than being yourself, try not to stress about how people are going to react to your videos. I think that's, for me, that'd be advice for myself, because every time I'd post a video, I always worry about what other people would think. And it shouldn't. Yes, I want people to like the videos. That's, you know, kind of important. You want your audience to like the content you're putting out. But at the same time, don't stress about it, because if you stress about it, it's just not going to be fun, and you're going to burn yourself out, and you're going to want to quit. So that would be my advice, is don't stress about what other people are going to think. Make sure you are enjoying what you're making to put on your channel. Okay. Question 2. What are your thoughts on cancel culture? Okay,
So,
you know what cancel culture is.
I know what cancel culture is. It's every time somebody gets offended, they want to cancel everything, and it's complete and utter bullcrap. I think that we need to stop being so feelings oriented, because it's going to destroy the country and the world. Because if you can't say something for fear of being canceled or destroyed or anything of that sense, then what's the point in living? People are the type that say things and do things, and then they learn from those things. But if you're scared to learn from those things, then no one's ever going to grow.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I think it goes along with what you're saying. If someone finds what you say offensive, they're going to want to cancel you, especially if there are other people that agree with them. It's like you can't share an opinion without fear of backlash. I don't like cancel culture. I think it's dumb. I mean, yeah, there are things that people say that are offensive, that are wrong, and there should be consequences to that, but I don't believe that the right thing to do would be to gang up on that person. I don't agree with it. I mean, I'll be honest, there are some things that I don't say on our channel. There are topics that I don't discuss for fear of that, and that's just me. He could care less.
Well, I don't go into topics that I feel are important, especially in some of the books that I've read, because of there's always the risk of backlash on my wife, and then that's going to put me in a really foul place.
So we like to keep our content neutral.
Try.
Neutral. We're Switzerland. Our channel is
Sounds Sometimes I get it. I get what I want to say.
Yeah. Number 3, do you consider Booktube to be a welcoming community?
Yes and no. I think for new and small booktubers, especially for whenever we started, it definitely was welcoming. But then it got to the point where it's really cliquey. Mm-hmm. And the higher you up, especially, I'm going to say probably about 500 subscribers is when I really started noticing how cliquey it could be. And it reminds me a lot of high school. And there's a lot of stuff where it's like, okay, so if I don't read a certain book by a certain author or a certain way, then I'm not part of the clique. I'm not part of the cool kids. And our channel has slowed down because we don't read those books. We don't read the super popular books that are all freaking whatever the PC culture's going on about at that point in time. So I'm not going to force myself to read a book that I don't enjoy just because it's by a certain author that believes a certain thing. I read a book based on the content of the book, and that's all I'm going to say on that.
I do agree with my husband. I think when you initially start Booktube, it's very welcoming. When you post your Booktube newbie tag, you get a whole bunch of people commenting, welcoming you to the community. But after that, at least in my experience and from what he's seen, it can, like you said, it can feel a little bit cliquey. There are plenty of times throughout this past year that I've been on Booktube where I felt like I didn't belong. And it goes along the lines with what he said. So I'm not really going to repeat what he said. I'm just going to go with his answer because I agree with it and I feel the same way. Number 4, what are your thoughts on book consumerism?
So I completely agree with it. If you want to buy a book because you love the author and you want to support them by buying their product that they're giving you and not just getting it from the library, by all means, buy the book. Support your favorite authors. Why is that a problem? Now, the only time I can see it becoming a problem is if you're just buying books to fill up your bookshelves or trying to make yourself look like you're top of the line in all the books and everything. If you're not going to read it, don't buy it. That's my opinion. But if you love the author, like we love Patricia Briggs, we're going to buy her books. I love the authors that I love. If they put something out there that I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to pay them for it. That's, by all means, buy the books.
I honestly don't understand why that's a thing. If you enjoy buying your books instead of borrowing it, what's the big deal? I don't understand. I think that's a dumb argument to have.
It's just like anything that you enjoy, you're going to spend money on. We're a community of book lovers. Of course we're going to spend money on books. Come on now. There is one more thing I would say. If you can't afford it, don't put yourself in a financial situation because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You get your books from the library, then by all means, get your books from the library. I mean, that's fine. Everybody has their own desires and preferences. Sometimes I like going to the library because I love the smell of old books.
We haven't gone in a long time, though.
I also enjoy owning the book because then I don't have to have other people touching my books.
There's a second part to the 4th question. Do you feel pressured to buy books? No, I do not.
No.
Number 5, would you consider yourself a critical reader / reviewer? I do not. When I was in school, I had to be a critical reader, so I learned how to read critically. But I did it so much that I did not want to do that when it came to books that I would like to read for enjoyment, which is all of my books now. So I'll read a book and it's either I like it, I don't like it, or I'm just meh about it. That's as critical as I would go. I do not go in the nit and gritty of what is wrong with the book. I read specifically for enjoyment and pleasure only.
So I sometimes do. I mean, some of my book reviews on Goodreads, I would say some of them can get kind of critical. I don't try to do that, but if there's something I want to say, I'm going to say it. And if I feel a certain way about a book, then I'm going to say it in the review. Now, if I'm asked to do a review for a book, then I'm going to try to give the review the best of my ability, and hopefully it meets the standard.
Number 6, do you take part in readathons? What are your thoughts on them? We have not taken part in readathons until recently. Our first readathon was a Disney-a-thon, and I thought that was a fun experience. I have nothing against readathons. I think they're a great idea. They're a wonderful way to help motivate you to read more books along with other book lovers.
So I have mixed feelings about it, because sometimes if you're in a slump, it's a great way to get back into reading. But if you have a busy schedule, like I put in a decent amount of hours. I also read thick books. So I kind of felt bad when I was during the Disney readathon, where I was only able to read one book, 1 3/4 of a book, and listen to 3/4 of an audiobook. But so that's my mixed feelings, is sometimes you feel pressured to read more constantly, and then you kind of feel like it's a letdown.
Right. I can understand that.
Sorry, I'm not sure how to help.
Number 7, recommend a book with a topic/issue that you are passionate about. So the only one that I can think of is my father's book. What's the title of it? 12 Extraordinary Men.
15 Extraordinary Men and 1 Extraordinary Woman.
Yeah, my dad has a long title for his book. That one I would recommend, because that covers our faith as Catholics, and that is something that we don't really talk about on our channel. There's a lot of hate against the Catholic Church, basically because of what we believe in, and in my dad's book he covers some of that and explains why we have certain beliefs, and I just feel it's important for people to know that we're not evil, that we do care about everyone, that we do treat everyone of different race, whatever I guess you identify with your gender. We respect everyone, but for some reason people think that we don't. I don't know, just because that we don't believe the same things that they do.
It ties into cancel culture.
Yeah.
Just because I don't agree with how you're doing things doesn't mean I hate you. If you do something that I disagree with, I just disagree with it. We can still be friends.
You have a friend from the LGBTQ plus community.
I have friends that are like that. And guess what? He's been my longest friend. So, since high school. Just because I disagree with things does not mean that I hate you. You're allowed to disagree with your friends. You're allowed to disagree with people.
But I bring up my dad's book because he does cover some of that, and not in a lecture type of way. I think he explains it very well, and it's easy to understand. And also the main focus is on the 12 apostles and how we can relate to them. But he does cover some of our beliefs and some of the controversy in it, and why we believe what we believe. So that's the book that I would recommend. I don't know if you have another book.
I don't read books that I'm passionate about, because that takes the enjoyment out of it for me. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm passionate about the Catholic faith, and occasionally I'll pick up a book about the Catholic faith.
You have to be in the mood for it.
I have to be in the mood. But I have so many books that I go into a book trying to escape reality. Mm-hmm. So I read fantasy. So I don't have a lot of books that I'm passionate about what's going on.
I'm with him. That's why I read mostly fantasy. I want to escape what's going on in the world. I don't want to be reading about it either. Alright, so those are all the questions, and the last one, number 8, says to tag 3 friends. We are going to tag Crack Into a Good Book, Kyla O'Connor, and Eliza Reeds. That is the tag. Hopefully we were good.
Hopefully you guys don't hate on us too much for our beliefs. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing some argument, and hopefully, if you disagree, we can just have a conversation.
Alright guys, we hope you're doing well. We hope you are having a wonderful holiday weekend. Labor Day, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Happy Labor Day, and we'll catch you guys later.
Take it easy, y'all.